With Disney in shambles, question mark? I mean, everybody's kind of falling apart in every regard, so I guess that is sort of a true statement. But hey, Disney, they're a big part of Star Wars. I mean, they own them, and they dictate what happens next. And with Kathleen Kennedy on the way in just about over a year, it looks like George Lucas might be coming back if the reports are true. So let's talk about what is being said and the likely outcome. So with Kathleen Kennedy on the way out, we've talked about this. She's definitely going to be stepping away from Star Wars as a producer. Disney investors apparently have been interested in involving George Lucas more with everything, bringing him back in some sort of advisor role. Now, this is an interesting one because it kind of conflicts with the last 20 years of Star Wars. I remember the prequels, which I grew up with. I remember being excited for them, loving them, and people just calling me stupid because I enjoyed them because they weren't as good as the old ones. And I remember all the toxicity, surrounding those movies, because if you were a fan, you just were looked down upon. And now that's changed to the new movies, and the prequels now are masterpieces, and we hail those, and George Lucas, he even said it multiple times himself, he sold Star Wars to Disney because of how much hatred he was getting, how people kept, just being so vile towards him. He wanted nothing to do with Star Wars because anything he would do would just get more hate towards him. So him wanting to come back and Disney apparently wanting him to come back, that's an interesting one for me because I don't understand how this would work. Because again, what happens if he's involved and the film ends up being garbage? Did people just turn on him again despite wanting him to come back? I'm kind of confused as to how this would work. I mean, my guess would be the Snyder scenario where if he produces something terrible, people are just going to blame the studio and then it's just never going to stop. Is George Lucas going to come back? I honestly don't think he is. I think he's done with Star Wars. He doesn't even like to talk about it when it's brought up. He's just like, look, I moved on from that. I sold it to them. That's a thing. That's done, right? He's tried to open up a museum that got turned down by Chicago, and he was going to fund it all himself. Again, I think he's just ready to move on. And what good would it be if they did bring him back? Honestly, I don't see why. Because right now, in my opinion, they're doing phenomenally well with The Mandalorian. And it sounds like all the TV series are off to a good start and have a good foundation. And they're not listening to anybody but the creators. So bringing back George Lucas would mean, oh, whatever you've done with The Mandalorian, well, now you got to listen to George Lucas. And what if he wants Darth Icky to appear? Remember Darth Icky? You should look up the story of George Lucas and Darth Icky. And tell me that would have been a good idea. Just go ahead. And they canceled Darth Maul game that was nearing completion. And he wanted to change to add a bunch of stuff. And they were just like, we're just not even going to release this at this point. What are you talking about? Again, I get people hate Star Wars, or at least hate the last trilogy. But can we not do revisionist history where apparently everything George Lucas made was loved and beloved by everybody and is somehow now looked upon as the greatest thing ever? Because go ahead, go look up forums in 2000 to 2008 to 2010 even, and tell me how people treated George Lucas and how they spoke about his name. Some sort of genius with the prequels? The people versus George Lucas will tell you otherwise.